there we go. Antonia, it's a pleasure
Hi.
to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. We already know each other, of course, so I asked you to come because, like, you're from German and you've been here in Milan for quite a long time now. When did you come here the first time?
September or October 2020.
2020.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in and out all the time, but like I've been here pretty much the whole time. Yeah.
Exactly. And you work in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
You started when you were
19.
19, yeah.
Like between 18 and 19. I'm doing this for like 2 years now. So it's like. But I started, like, I've been most of the time in Milan, but I worked, of course, also in other cities. It's just been, like, in and out, like, all the time. So, and because of COVID, it was pretty hard to go somewhere else, honestly.
Yeah, you started literally when COVID started.
Yeah, like, it was, like, actually my start was delayed because of COVID.
Okay.
So I had to, like, I was supposed to start earlier 2020, but then I had to, like, wait a bit.
Okay.
Because of COVID, and then I went the first time to Paris, and then I came like after Fashion Week in Paris. I came here, and I kind of got stuck here. So, yeah, that's it.
But come on, Milan, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
though,
no,
where
it's
to live.
true.
It's easy.
True.
It's easy to stay
no,
here.
it's true. But I mean, for living, it's my favorite city. I have to say, for work, not. But it's fine. Like
because of the payment, right?
Yeah.
It's
also,
not, yeah.
also, and the clients. Like for example, I worked like last week the first time in London. Just for like a direct booking, and it's been like the difference is like insane. I'm not saying like it's always the same, and it really depends on the team, but like I mean Italians sometimes are a bit slower. It also depends on the like which kind of job you're doing.
Exactly. It makes me laugh because I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, of course, also the payment is way different, but they're way more exact. And since I'm German, I'm also a bit more exact. Like working in Germany, even though I just did it one time, is like completely different as well. Like it's like I have to say, I appreciate in Italy, it's really easygoing. Like the team is very like chill.
Yeah, that's true.
But in Germany, it's like you start at a certain time, you end at a certain time, and if you end later, you get paid overtime for sure. And if not, like everything is like really regulated.
Okay, there is nothing random. Like everything is set and scheduled and organized.
I mean, of course, it depends on what kind of job you do. If you do like an e-com shoot for the whole day, or like if you do an editorial, it's always something else. But like it's definitely way more regulated. But since I'm in Italy for like almost 2 years now, I'm kind of got used to the Italian way.
So you just go like, I already know how it is.
Yeah,
I already
exactly.
know it.
No, but I also have to say, like, 2 years ago, I was really always on time. I mean, I'm still on time at jobs, but like meeting, like also today, I came a few minutes late, and that would have never happened like 2 years ago, to be honest. But I know that here it doesn't matter that much.
This is the Italian influence, right? You get used to it. Like guys, at 6:30, we're gonna meet, all right? Yeah. Like 1 hour later, everybody's gonna show up.
It's true. Sometimes I have some friends, and we like the boyfriend of my friend. We always tell him like to come an hour earlier, and he still comes too late. But it's good that we tell him.
But listen, so far, what can you tell me that, in your opinion, are, for example, some of the positive and negative aspects of working in the fashion industry, or even things that you like and things that you don't like that you have noticed so far?
I mean. So maybe start with the good things. I think really good is like that you have like a lot of opportunities. I have to say I like would never travel that much. Like I'm super happy like last week to just go in and out to like London or something for like 1 day, which is like super nice. You work with amazing people sometimes. It's like you're meeting so many people. I feel like I am like super open-minded through that. I can really good communicate, meet new people and everything, which is a nice skill to have.
Absolutely.
But also like I know people who went to school with me. I mean, it depends on the person. I think you also have to be a bit made for it.
Yeah.
But like a few people I went to school with, they're now like I feel like we're not, because of different experiences, we're like on different levels, which is not like bad or worse in any case. It's just like very different because I feel like I experienced a lot. Like, and also I have to say, modeling is really insecure, and I'm a really like secure person, so. It was really hard for me to like, I was really stiff. Like I thought, what can I do better when it didn't work? What can I do different? What is going on? But now I have, and I feel maybe some people need, like, for some people are like the opposite, so they need something more like regular, which they're going to and have like rules for. But modeling doesn't have any rules, so I really had to get used to that.
Yes.
And I feel like now I'm way more easygoing than I used to be, because I was like...
Because the first time it hurts even a little bit, right? When you go maybe to a casting and you can, like, you clearly see that there is no connection with the people that you're casting for. They're just like, okay, thank you very much, next. And you just go like, what the hell was that? I mean, that was so fast. Of course, then so you just look, is there something wrong? I don't know. No, it's just that maybe you don't fit for that particular brand, you know? So who cares?
It's not even like that you don't fit for that particular, like, most of the time they got you to the casting, or they got you an option because they liked you in general. But maybe they searched for an Asian girl. And I'm clearly not Asian. So, like, it's not that they didn't like you. It's just that they needed someone who looks like that. I mean, the question is then sometimes why they even invite you, but it's another thing. That's true. But I mean,
like for the tattoos, right? When you see a casting, like for example, no tattoos, and you see the guy with the entire arm covered in tattoos, and he goes like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes they just, it's annoying if you go to a casting, you see like they just called everyone there. So then I'm like, okay, I kind of wasted my time at that point. But of course, it also changed over time. The more you work, the less you have to see some clients, the less like, the more maybe you also appreciate it. I wouldn't want to say that, but I have to say the more you have a name in the industry, the easier it gets, of course. And I'm doing way more direct bookings than I used to.
Yeah,
also
more,
because, I mean, also because I like got a bigger portfolio, I have like some references already. I know people who maybe recommended me or some, and I mean, that's for sure. There are some models who start off like big.
Yes,
but
right from the beginning.
Yeah,
boom.
But it can be very difficult because a lot of them like fall over some time. I know models who've been like doing every show in the beginning, and then like after some time, it's just like nothing. And then it hurts even more, I guess.
Yes.
But
you mean maybe you stay a little bit more low profile.
Exactly.
Let me say that. But you are consistent in the work that you do, instead of starting with the boom and then suddenly start to go.
I mean, if that would happen to me, I wouldn't have say no. You don't have like a control.
No. A lot of money, a lot of exposure, a lot of good jobs. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, also modeling in mostly not going to do forever. So it's like, all right, for me to have this experience over years. And I feel like, I mean, in the modeling industry, it's different. Like, especially in Milan, there's so many models.
Yeah, that's true.
And also not so good agencies and better agencies. And modeling here, that's why I say, like, for me, it's not the same, like, in Paris or something. Because, like, basically, I feel sometimes, like, here, a lot of people can just be a model, which is not always good. Because, like, I mean, they're still doing their jobs and stuff. But it's like pretty hard, but I'm really lucky to be in a good agency, to like have that support from my mother agency in Germany.
What is your agency here in Milan? I don't remember.
IMG.
IMG, all right.
Yeah, I'm with them like everywhere, but it's like I'm pretty lucky with that. They're really big here. I wouldn't say Milan.
Yeah, you're comfortable with them as an agency. Yeah, so far everything's fine, perfect.
Really, really good. I mean, to be honest, like they're really big, like worldwide. I have to say in Milan, I'm not sure if that matters so much, because I feel like also a lot of small agencies are really...
I think they're huge in the US, right?
Yeah, in Paris as well.
In Paris as well.
I have to say in the US, they're having a lot... I mean, they have a lot of top models, and they have also IMG Sports and IMG Celebrities, kind of.
Also, they represent like people at 360 degrees, not just one. Okay.
So like they have some singers, some famous actors in there, and like a lot of top models like Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid, like Hailey Bieber and stuff.
Some of the big ones, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty nice, and it's cool to be in the same agencies as them, but it doesn't matter at the end because of how you work, of course. So it doesn't bring anything to the table, honestly.
No, absolutely.
I mean, of course, it matters that you're in a good agency in general, but it doesn't have to be like the biggest one to be a successful model, or like people think is the best one. like, I mean, especially here in Milan, there's like smaller agencies or like more unknown for people outside of the fashion industry, which are actually like super good in what they're doing.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter so much, to be honest.
Another thing that I wanted to ask you is that I heard recently an interview of an Italian guy who was asked what he thinks about high fashion in general, right? And they asked him about Milan and Paris, and he said that in his opinion, Milan is not a place or a city for high fashion, is a city for fashion, while Paris instead is considered the highest level for fashion in general. What do you think about it?
I mean, well...
And we're talking both men and women, no distinction.
Well, I mean, you can like see a difference. There's definitely a difference, but still you have to consider that like a lot of big brands like Gucci and stuff are placed here. So it's not like, I mean, yeah, if you go to Paris, you mostly work in the high fashion, and here you can do a lot of commercial and big, like small brands too. So like here you're definitely not gonna work just high fashion most of the time. But and I mean there's a difference. You have to say like high fashion is like there's commercial and there's high fashion. Commercial is like really and this is like the difference between modeling. Like commercial models mostly don't do any runways or something, and commercial just do like what we see out there. It's more diverse, I would almost say. It's like more the beauty standard, while like high fashion are really skinny models most of the time. It's very particular. It's very like special. Like you have to have a specific look, and I'm actually quite in the middle. Like I can do both. Like I've been told from like
you're like an hybrid. You can decide.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a good thing. It's just hard to find your niche in some kind of way. Because I've been told by commercial models that I'm too high fashion, which actually means I'm too ugly for like beauty standards, which like I don't take it personal at all. Whatsoever.
That's part of
it. But
the game,
yeah, exactly. But I mean, and I had like, it sounds like a compliment, but like in high fashion, I've been told like, oh, you're too like beauty, which means too commercial, which doesn't go with high fashion.
So at that point, you just go like, listen. You gotta like set your mind clear, because I'm really confused at the moment.
Exactly.
Like, where should I go? Like, just tell me.
Exactly. I mean, I've done like both, so it's fine for me. I had like long hair before, which made me a bit more boring, to be honest. So when I went the first time to Paris, I met like some of the biggest casting directors. I mean, there's like a lot of like big casting directors, like mostly 3-4 were the biggest. And like one of them, for example, he's doing very like big brands like Yves Saint Laurent and stuff like that. And the models there are very particular, and he really likes like the strange models, and he kind of told me that about like high fashion. So, and to be honest, if you're in his team and he likes maybe 1% of all models or even less, then you can make like maybe one of the biggest careers. But you can still like do a good career. I know like hundreds of models who are working well without him, but it's not that easy, of course. If you're
no, of course. If you get to that level, if you enter that door, pass me the term, it would be way easier, because at that point it's kind of you're protected and you're pushed constantly. So the exposure that you get would be massive.
Exactly. And I mean, he's not just doing one big thing. He's doing like a lot of big shows. He's doing a lot of Vogue covers. He's doing a lot of big campaigns. So it would he can give you an exclusive. But I also know girls who got like promised an exclusive from him and got like canceled the night before. And that's something that happens all the time in fashion, but especially at Prada and stuff. They always kick out like girls or models.
Prada, you said?
Yeah, it happens always that they kick out some models like right before they walk on the runway. And
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, but it's not, I mean, not
Why?
just
Like,
with them.
That's fucked up. Why?
I mean, it's like a
Yeah,
bit
maybe
like that.
there is not even a specific reason. It's just the way they operate, the way they do.
No, exactly. And this is like the thing, because I would never be sure. And I know girls who did like Dior, every season, and then they've been confirmed, and it doesn't matter for the brand that they like cancel you too late, they can still pay you, but you're a bit depending on the exposure you get from them. So for them it doesn't matter you to cancel you. But I know girls who flew in for the show during COVID, and at the end they didn't had all looks done the night before, so they didn't walk on the runway at the end of the night. And it happens all the time. I mean, it's maybe a bit more disappointing if it's your first one, but still, you just came for it. You just waited maybe the whole night to get the call to get in the fitting.
No, without maybe. That's all you're waiting for.
Yeah,
like, you're
exactly.
not thinking about anything else. You didn't flew over there because you're on vacation with your boyfriend or with your friends. No, I flew here because I'm about to work and to get paid. And just waiting on the phone like, every time they hear a noise, that's a phone? It's the phone? No, it's not the phone.
Exactly. But I mean, it's kind of always the same with modeling. Also in the normal day-to-day base. I mean, until we found an appointment to meet now, it also took some while because you're just going. I mean, I have periods where I don't work for some time, and I'm like, what's going on? Like,
but that happens to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
then I have
it's just the way they are.
Exactly.
A little bit of roller coaster. There are periods like the one that you're telling me right now, like during this past month, you have been working like non-stop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe there was the month prior who was a little bit more relaxed. So
it's like, I mean, sometimes one thing can happen. I mean, just sometimes you work more or you work less. But if you, for example, get some new Polaroids, they're really nice, and then a lot of people like you, or you just did a big job, of course, like, it never happened like this to me, but like if you suddenly do a big show, of course you're gonna work more after. But I mean, you have to, like, all this kind of stuff is like, as soon as you get in this higher level of modeling, there's a lot of things which is not our job, mostly the job of the agent to be like calculate your image, like what you're gonna do, what is good for your image. Like, some clients don't go with each other. Like, some clients are not that good seen in the industry as other clients, even though you would like to do the show, but you shouldn't do it because it can ruin your chances. That's on the other hand. That's true. And
I think that's a key passage also for the agency. That's what maybe makes the difference between the several agencies that are present all around the world. You know, the one that can understand better based on the model that we're focusing on. For example, in this case, like Antonia, what would be the best for Antonia? Maybe not this brand, but maybe she would get along with this kind of brand like perfectly, you know?
No, exactly. I mean, there's always like this big like calculation out of the things. I mean, I know, like, it can always depend. Like, you try to explain something and sometimes it turns out completely different. I know someone who did like a show which was not as good seen as her first show, and then then it's like kind of difficult to get like an exclusive or something, or not even exclusive, just a normal show for another bigger brand, because they don't like that so much to see that. Yeah. But you can, I mean, depends on how your skills are in hiding. You can like hide that a bit, or you shouldn't post about it. I mean, 90% of my jobs I don't post just because it's just the money I made and not like my image. And I mostly just post like editorials or like big things I did, but not like small things. Yes. And like, this is like, but she at the end did a big show, so it doesn't, like, sometimes if a client really wants you, they can still do something about it, for sure. It's like hard to explain. Like, this is like something I try to explain to my mom, my friends at home. Like, no one gets it because it's so difficult. Hard. I mean, but you have to experience it to actually see it. You have to be in it to actually understand. Like, oh, now I do understand what Antonia is talking about. Otherwise, it's I mean, because you're working in it too, no? But I mean, you have to see how it is. Like, how, like, for everyone else, it's kind of hard to understand, I think. But also in general, when you say like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a model or something like that. They don't. I can't even imagine what they have in their mind. No. Like, because everybody has like stereotypes, right? Have already a scenario or a situation in their head where they're like, oh, so she's like the documentary that I've seen last week about how fucked up the fashion industry is, that girls get touched, men get, everybody has like kind of. Actually, the first question I always get asked, so in Germany we have this format which is called Germany's Next Top Model. Okay. And I always get asked.
Oh yeah, it started with American top models,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then it expanded all around the world.
And it's pretty famous there, like also around the world. Everyone always compares it to that. I'm like, well, has nothing to do. There may be influencers at the end, but it has nothing to do with the modeling work at all. But it's funny because I've been like talking about like how other people react. I actually found it pretty hard sometimes. Because some people just don't take you serious, because of course it's hard to understand, and as I said, there are a lot of different models, so there are different qualities of what you can do in modeling. And it's like a bit of a funny story, but I've been like to a birthday of the boyfriend of my friend, a friend or something like that, and we've been there, and there were like a lot of like people who had like a bit more money and stuff, and a lot of them had just like really rich parents. And it's not a bad thing or something like that, but they were like they were like talking, and there was like this one guy who was like really like posh, but like you saw like when he talked, you saw he never worked in his life for anything he did. And he was like constantly saying stuff like that. And I mean, I'm studying part-time on the side, fashion management, but I don't think it doesn't do anything. I just do it for myself, but I'm not saying that because anyone else should think I'm not like...
I completely understand what you're talking about.
But it's been like very funny because like I couldn't listen to this guy anymore after some time, because he was saying stuff like, oh, like in London, you just stay in Mayfair. And we're like, no, you're not staying just in Mayfair when you're in London. Like, he was just bringing comments because he was just really doing nothing. And he was also...
But it's kind of funny, though.
It was really funny.
It's kind of funny. When you see this kind of people, it makes me laugh. It doesn't make me go like, oh, come on, shut up. It makes me laugh because, dude, it's funny how convinced you are that you know things about life and things, and probably you haven't heard a single dollar in your fucking life. Never. You were just lucky enough to be born in a rich family that provided everything. That for you, that you have right now. And so just for that reason, because your dad maybe is a great businessman, your mother, she's a great businesswoman as well. So just because you have really nice clothes on and you live in a mansion, so now you know things.
Exactly.
No, dude, you don't know anything.
That was because then I got like a bit like passive aggressive, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I came back, and my friend was still there with this guy, but I saw in her face, she was like, help me. And I was like, okay, so I came there, and he was like, so what are you doing? You're also just modeling? And I was like... My friend was unfortunately saying, no, she's also studying. But I was like, yeah, it's a full-time job. Like, because it made me so angry that people don't understand. Like, I don't feel like the urge to explain it to people. If they don't want to understand what I'm doing... Who cares? And as long as I'm doing what makes me happy and like I'm doing good, it doesn't matter. But like the way in this evening, I'm usually not like that, but I was like, yeah, it's a full-time job. And he was like, I'm sorry, and maybe he didn't talk to us.
You're telling me like this instead, maybe you're completely lost it, and you go like, what the fuck are you trying to say? I work full-time. You don't know anything. You got a problem? Exactly. You see the guy... The posh guy going like, what the hell is going on?
Exactly. And it was like, I usually like am really cool about it. But this evening he was also like a bit pissed, so he didn't talk to us anymore. And we felt like, it's not that I can't, like, I'm really good in like going into different like societies and stuff. But this evening we were just there. We just didn't fit to the rest. We were just like...
it happened. There is 8 billion people in this planet. I think it's normal. With some people you get along, with other people you don't get along.
I mean, I get along with a lot of people. I meet a lot of people in the fashion industry on every kind of side of like what they're doing. And like you're going to events, you're going here and there. I don't go that much to events because I don't like it that much, but... You can go to a lot of events, and especially maybe in New York and stuff, it's a bit even more that you have to like do this socializing thing. But and in Milan, it's just like a lot of parties and promoters and stuff, which is not my thing at all. Like I hate it. but
a lot in Milan.
Yeah, in Milan it's crazy. You go to a casting, like especially these mass castings, and they're like, "Hi, darling, how are you?" And I'm like, "Don't talk to me." And I'm a bit hard at like being rude, but in that case, I had to like start being rude to people because it doesn't work otherwise. You're just like, "So you're coming tonight?" I'm like, "No, I'm not coming tonight." No.
It's funny because now you made me. I want to ask you something now that it just recall in my mind. Like, it's funny to me. Like, I see, I understand a perspective from a girl, a woman that is not from Italy, but comes actually from Germany, right? So it's still Europe. We're very close to each other, but still, you know, different cultures, different attitudes, different approaches to, you know, every single segment of life. What do you think about Italians men so far? Like, what you can say about Italians men of your experience in Italy so far?
Well, I can't put it all on one hand, to be honest. Like, I could say like a really stereotype kind of thing. But it really depends on who you're meeting. Like, I mean, also where.
Exactly.
You're really nice. Thanks.
That's true.
But it also depends where they're coming from in Italy. I mean, we definitely have a different kind of mindset. Like, I have to say, like, Italian people in general are really like more open. Like, people think about German people that we're very closed. But I think we're just really like have a lot of respect to each other, so we don't want to come off like off-putting like to new people. So we're like stick a bit back. But as soon as like in my experience,
like everybody respect each other's spaces.
Exactly. But as soon as you, exactly. But so this is like something. But I'm not like a super classical German in that case. But I mean, also in Germany, it depends where you go. I come from Cologne. It's a very, very, very open city. And
which is in the north or the south?
And the west.
West, okay.
So west, middle. It's very close to the Netherlands.
Okay.
We celebrate, for example, Carnival, which is a huge thing. We have like everyone, this is like something where Germans are really open, like Oktoberfest, Carnival, like you go out.
I have to go to Oktoberfest. That's one of those things that I have to do. One time in my life.
I mean, I've never been there, but I know like, so my experience from Cologne Carnival is like, you go out, like around you, people are the first person you meet, you can be friends with. Like you drink beer the whole day.
Until you pass out.
Yeah, you start at 9 a.m, you come and then you just drink and like be there and like I lose my friends and I have immediately new friends. Like everyone, it's true. Like
you started with one company of friends, you ended up with and in the middle there were
exactly.
hundreds.
This is like everywhere there are people. It's like the most fun ever. Like you really have to experience that in your life. It's maybe even a bit overwhelming and crazy for people who haven't been there, but like who don't understand it. But it's kind of the same dynamic on the Oktoberfest. So, I mean, that's just what I can say about like Germans and Italians. But I mean, Italian man, so if I walk in the street in summer with a skirt or with like short pants, I'm like, they're not like, I get called out way more than like in Germany, I have to say. It depends also on the city where you go and stuff. And I know I don't take it serious because, I mean, if that happens to you in Germany, it's most of the time way more serious and more scared than if like some random man on the street says that to me. But that's something which like the mentality is just a bit like that from like men, to be honest. I feel like, and they're way more charming in some kind of way. But they can also be like very, I mean...
You mean sometimes rude and inappropriate?
Yeah. So that can, but it really depends on the other. Yeah, like
because as an Italian as well, I feel like I do see the differences between me and my fellow Italians, colleagues, let's say. It depend on in which region we're talking about. Like in Milan, we're a little bit more cold. Yeah. Let me say. It means it's more business mind. People just mind a little bit more their own business. Also. Yeah, exactly. But still with the women, they approach women, but it's less like suffocating and claustrophobic, right? It's more like respectfully. But as soon as you go to the south, and I don't want to do a dig on them or say something bad, it's just part of their culture. Yeah. It's just they just go straight. I mean, they don't care. Like maybe you're shy by yourself. Like, hey, lady, how you doing? And they just come like this, and you go like, what the hell is going on? They just go.
No, it's true, and I mean, like, it's very. I mean, it can like it also depends. Like, if you're talking about men on the street, or if you actually like, I mean, be friends or date a guy, an Italian guy. It can be different too. I mean, of course, no one is like. All guys are like approaching you on the street, obviously. So there are also people you can like be friends with and stuff, and they're not gonna do that. Obviously.
Of course.
So, and I mean, in this mentality, I'm not saying just specifically men, just Italians are definitely like a bit more different than Germans, but I like it, and sometimes I also don't like it. It depends.
It depends.
Yeah, but. No.
Like everything, it depends. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay.
I'm like, to be honest, I'm not like, as I said, we talked about before about timing, and I am like, I don't mind if people come late and stuff, but sometimes I feel the mentality is like really, oh, what happened, like, doesn't happen now, will happen tomorrow. We don't have to like push something. We don't have to get something done. And this is not like my mindset most of the time. So I don't like that much. Yeah. But
because it goes in like clear opposite with more like the part of your culture, which is everything a little bit more organized, right?
Yeah, it's also a bit more responsible sometimes, like, or relatable, to be honest. Like, if I say I meet my friend tomorrow, I'm most definitely going to meet my friend tomorrow, or my German friend is going to meet me. And like, if they cancel, it's like not out of like nowhere or something. I mean, also depends on the person, definitely. But like in Italy, I feel like I have like one of my best friends, he's Italian. If I tell him like, let's meet tomorrow, he's like, yeah, I'm going to hit you up tomorrow. And then I just woke up at like 12. And then you're like,
yeah,
right.
You said it. He's Italian. You said it.
And then he's like, yeah, let's meet later. And then he's like, well, I meet just like 4 more friends. If you want, you can come now, here and there. And I was like, seriously? No, I have to come there with like, I mean, I don't mind going with all the friends, but like, what happened to the plans?
I thought you know what I mean? We were about to go out just me and you.
Yeah, but...
No, I understand.
No, but...
I understand. Listen, Antonia, it's time for wrap the podcast up.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
For
it was a nice conversation. And listen, I wish you the best of luck with everything, your modeling career, life, and
thank you.
Your experiences here in Milan.
For you too.
Cold around with the skirt and the jeans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.